Welcome, everyone, to our weekly HCI Local Chapters live stream show. Our show is brought to you by Robert Half, a talent solutions firm and leading provider of technology professionals needed to build, deploy, and operate technology in this digital and cloud world. They do this by placing highly skilled IT professionals, either contract basis, project basis, or even a full-time basis. They basically help you keep your businesses going. And if y'all know how the market is going here in mid-2021, that's really important right now. You can browse available candidates, you can search for jobs, and you can access additional information on hiring and career insights at roberthalf.com/technology. All right, so let's get on with the show. I'm your host, Tom Wilk, and today our guest is Victor Aguirre. Victor, did I get that right?
Wow, double R's.
That's about the only thing I can get right on. Is that right? Well, Victor ditched his traditional office job in pursuit of a social impact career. His goal is to connect employers to diversified talent from non-traditional backgrounds. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight. He works at Opportunity at Work to help employers find and hire workers who are skilled through alternative routes, or STARS. And I like that term, rather than through maybe a bachelor's degree. Victor, welcome to our show.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much. What a great intro.
Well, I told you in pre-show, I'm still an amateur at this, but you make it so easy with like who you are and where you come from. As a matter of fact, Amy, our producer, we told her what our vision was and our mission was here, and she couldn't have picked a better person and a better organization to come on here to talk about like reaching out to people. We talk about reaching out to people that either don't know how to get into technology or don't understand how to get the skills that they may need or even have, right? So, Victor, let's talk a little bit about Opportunity at Work and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So at Opportunity at Work, our mission is to really rewire the U.S. labor market and expand career opportunities to people who don't have, like you said, a 4-year college degree, but are skilled through alternative routes, or as we like to call them, STARS, right? And so look, like there's still value in a degree, obviously, but college is not the only way to learn.
And it's not for everybody either.
It's not. And if employers are still using bachelor's degrees to screen talent, then Houston, we got a problem,
You were so right. Yep. And I think you and I talked about, some of the people that I have hired in the past that didn't even, they may have had a degree, but it wasn't in IT, or they didn't even have a degree, and they turned out to be some of the best people, I've ever hired. Right. So let's talk a little bit about STARS and what that's all about. Like you talked about, are there really that many people out there without a degree that need work or that are looking for work or that,
Yeah. We did a report with Accenture not that long ago, and we discovered that there's over 70 million plus STARS, or workers skilled through alternative routes. And a lot of them are people like myself that learned, in the military service or a part of some kind of certificate program, whether it's vendor specific or non-vendor specific, like CompTIA or Cisco, or community college. So, there's they're out there. And in regards to this degree, if they're going to continue to screen people out, like if you really want to break down that 70 million, you're screening out about 68% of African Americans and 79% of Latinx, 73% of rural Americans, and about a little over 65% of military veterans. So it's a huge market, obviously, and we're really honed in on it.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service. As I shared with you in pre-show, my dad was a Marine, and so I appreciate everything you all do for us and did for us. And secondly, it's interesting you did this study and we're leaving all these people out. Is it simply because we're asking for a bachelor's degree for entry? And you're talking about even entry to like entry level IT positions, not like CIOs and like network senior administrators and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I really loved about the IT world. When I first got into it, the way that I got in was as a career placement manager for a nonprofit that was helping launch digital careers for military veterans and people from underserved communities. And that was the beautiful thing about it. It's just like, you're getting hired for your skill set. They're like, hey, can you do the job? Do you understand, security hygiene? Do you understand the fundamentals of IT and the infrastructure? So it's like, if you can do that, we'll hire you. And so, that was kind of my first experience working with companies that didn't require a degree. But sometimes you had to really convince them. So that's where we're at with that.
Yeah, and I like how you said that in the introduction. You said rewiring the way we do things, because even though change has more than 4 letters, it's kind of a 4-letter word to some people, and they get stuck on that. And I told you, I work for a university, so they'll probably smack me for saying this, but requiring a 4-year degree for certain positions, or any position necessarily, kind of can be. It just isn't realistic, because you mentioned you're in the military. I've interviewed many military folks and hired them because they got their skills in the service. They didn't need to go to a 4-year college necessarily to get them. And I really wish I'd have known about. I wish something like your organization existed when I was coming into it, because I came from a very poor background, and I actually put myself through a business school. It wasn't overly. I called it high school 2.0. It wasn't exactly like it wasn't even at a community college level, but it gave me some skills. Except that I didn't. It was in accounting, and I found out after I put all that 16 months of hard work in that I didn't like accounting. I like numbers. I didn't know numbers and computers went together, but and so I really wish I'd have known, because I didn't know what skills or where to go or anything like that. And I struggled, to figure that out. It took me a long time. So,
yeah. And like, I remember getting into workforce development. Firsthand, I would see how much talent there was out there, and from every demographic, it didn't matter if they were 18 or in their 50s transitioning into tech. There was just an incredible amount of talent, and a lot of them didn't have 4-year degrees. So that was really incredible to see them actually excel really well in IT and software engineering and get jobs in the space. And it just proved our point.
Yeah. And here's the thing, we told you this show is like, we're trying to help people like your target market find out opportunities and stuff, but we also like to share with the employers out there, the hiring managers out there, the companies out there. If you give these people a chance, most of you have tuition reimbursement programs. You can send them on for their 4-year degree after they come in your door and learn the job that they're doing, and you can help grow them through your company, right? There's so many things they can do to help these people once they get them in the door, right?
Yeah. And I think the pandemic has really just exposed a lot of this too. It's just like, look, there's so many ways to learn nowadays, non-traditionally, traditionally. A huge paradigm shift happening right now too, right? And look, I think companies are recognizing that even in a pandemic, there are still talent shortages for certain skill sets, and we want employers to take advantage of this labor pool. And we found a lot of stars are just feeling kind of like they've been feeling daunted by trying to sift through all the job postings, especially if they're not even really open to them. Yeah. And so more than likely they're going to get rejected just on the basis of not having a degree. So, before the pandemic, we responded by creating this skills-based platform to connect workers who have completed these training programs, like in IT, coding boot camps, community colleges, with employers who are willing to hire them.
Yeah. And you bring up something important too, because I know as a hiring manager, I hate this. And I talk to my HR department all the time, but the artificial intelligence that automatically screens out people based off of those keywords and key searches drives me nuts. I shared with you when we talked before the show that I hired somebody that was basically a nursing assistant in a head trauma hospital with no technology background at all. But this guy was just sharp And I saw it and I'm like, listen, if you can figure out how to keep somebody alive in a head trauma unit, you can learn what we got to teach you. Do you have the personality skills? Do you have the customer service skills? And the dude did. I mean, you can't deal, we talked about my son pre-show about him working in a deli with the grouchiest customers, but you pretty much can't deal with anything more stressful than people whose family members are sitting on a bed behind you and you taking care of them. So you're right. It's just, it's overwhelming to me that to think like that you guys, that even in 2021 post pandemic, we're still, we're dealing with employee shortages everywhere, yet we haven't figured out how to solve. Obviously you guys have figured that out. So,
well, it's not perfect, right? We're still learning. We're talking to our customers and trying to improve in a lot of different ways. Cause it's not easy, obviously. But in regards to what you were talking about, like, I think soft skills are huge, but like you just mentioned, these are transferable skills that a lot of people have from whether they're working as a cashier, register, barista, or somebody like working the front lines in healthcare. There's just a lot of transferable skills, and we're trying to show companies that, look, this is what this is the potential that a lot of the students that are coming out of these programs have. And it might not take 4 years to do it, especially if it's such a niche type of role that they can learn in 16 weeks or, 3 to 4 months, just depending on what type of technical skill set it is. And then if they have the right, like you said, personality and soft skills, companies are missing out, but more of them are waking up.
Yeah. And I again, I don't want to poo-poo the place right here that I work at and got my degree from, but you'll talk to a lot of people that have their 4-year and plus degrees, and they'll tell you, like, how much did you sit in that classroom and really learn about the job you're doing today, right? I'm not poo-pooing a degree like you said, but like, you don't always learn. You learn to learn, but if you're able to learn these skill sets, I know you and I, we talked about you have a teenage son, and I've got two kids that are just out of college or in college, and the stuff that they know naturally that they don't even realize, would blow your mind if you sit down and talk to them about, like, for example, this show is on Twitch, it's on YouTube. Have you ever seen somebody stream their gaming on Twitch? Anybody that can play a game, stream on Twitch and commentate on it, and then do post-production,
they got some skills.
They got some skills. They're pretty talented,
Yeah.
They can make all these things pop up on the screen on YouTube. I can't do that yet. I mean, I've been doing this, what I told you, you're like my 35th guest, and I'm doing post-production. I'm not that good. So, you got to think, like, I know that, I think I heard, what is the, not Snapchat. What's the TikTok? Yeah, they're doing like do these videos for a job. I mean, that is, listen, if they can do it.
Some of them are getting paid too, and I get it. A lot of people hate on these YouTubers and TikTokers, but the ones that know what they're doing and know how to get attention, hopefully the right way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard recently TikTok, they're challenging people, like employers, to like they're challenging people that use TikTok to make video resumes, and then having employers like hire based off of that. And I'm going, that is pretty talented.
Creative.
It's creativity, it's talent, it's personality. Listen, we've all learned from this pandemic. Like, if you can sit here and look into a camera and have a conversation, like I have done at least a half a dozen presentations for conferences, digital, where I had to sit in front of a camera with no audience and pretend I'm talking to you. And these kids do it on, TikTok and all these other Twitch and things. It's talent. So you're right. It's not just about, they can learn. That's, I think, the whole point of it. So Victor, we are down to about a minute or so to go in the show. What advice would you give to somebody that's looking for these opportunities, or don't know how to get started in finding these jobs or these skills or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, first I would start like locally, wherever you're at, looking at any local programs, and then obviously building a network. And sometimes that could be a little challenging too, depending on what kinds of resources you have. And, nowadays, everything being virtual, like that's where you kind of need to look. But I think there's still a really strong place to look at is your local workforce development agencies. I think those are like great places to start because they already kind of have like an inside track onto what the labor market is looking like in your specific city. And so, yeah, I would definitely recommend that. And then obviously coming to Opportunity at Work's website too, we have a lot of different resources, and we work with a lot of training providers throughout the United States. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you hit it right. Like finding the programs, like Opportunity at Work. I think that's one of your best bets coming out. And like you said, that network, I'll tell you, like people that connect with other folks, even on LinkedIn, if you're not on LinkedIn and you're trying to get into a technology profession, you might want to think about, I'm not, I'm just saying, I'm not getting paid by LinkedIn or anything like that. But I know like if you jump on and you connect with somebody like me and you ask for help or advice or join my network, we'll certainly, help you out there. And also, since we are at the kind of coming to the end of the show, I'd also like to mention HDI local chapters. I mean, listen, this is a great network, not only for seasoned professionals in IT like myself, but people that are up and coming. And if you go to the hdilocalchapters.org website, you can find out about becoming a member. And we even have trial membership now for you to just see what we're about. We really want to help people, and we're a nonprofit organization, and it's another great opportunity to find a place to jump in on the network. We have a lot of people from every industry, from higher education, from medical, health, you name it. We've got us all involved, and and we'd love to help you make those connections with people like Victor and Opportunity at Work. So, Victor, before we go, any last thoughts, words you'd like to share?
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Can I become a member?
Yeah, you certainly can. We can definitely get you that information. We can hook you up. I can actually send you the link when we're off the show too. And that goes for anybody else. On the screen is my email address. I'd be happy to share that link with all of you. And in future episodes, we'll get that up and going. And I'll probably put it in the show notes as well if I can remember to do that in post production there. But thank you. And everybody, I just want to remind everybody, please subscribe and like us on Twitch and YouTube. We stream this live at Twitch every Wednesday evening. We upload it to YouTube. You can follow us at #HDILocal. And again, if you're interested in joining, reach out and we'd be happy to connect you to get you to join a member for a local chapter, our virtual chapter, and even see us at an upcoming conference. So Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Hopefully.